be our host tonight. And of course, NBA All-Star guards, Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Gentlemen.
Another welcome. This is fun. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is a natural place I want to get started because the conversation that Buck and I had a little over a year ago was about, there were some lean years where there weren't playoffs and he couldn't see all this excitement. And I kept telling him, it's going to come, it's going to be there. Chris had been here on the other side of the floor. And I said, it's going to be amazing when you see it. Now that you've had a year to see it, your reaction, and maybe something you might want to tell them.
I mean, it's been amazing, though, from the start. I found a love in that struggle, you know what I'm saying? And they were here through it all, too. So it makes it that much better to see.
I know you would rather not have had the weight, but I would imagine the relationship is different, and I would think stronger because of that struggle that you're referring to.
100%. I mean, we always talk about the NBA, and we always say it's situational. Like, you can't control what you're coming into. You don't even know what city you're going into on draft night. So coming in at 18 years old, I had no idea what to even expect. And I always said in all my interviews, you guys here, it took me and his family here. And embrace it and make it second home.
It's something I want to ask. I'll start with Chris first. The word I think I hate the most when people talk about sports now is culture. Because it's usually just exaggerated. It's made up. It's like, okay, what does that mean for this situation? But to me, as an outsider looking in, culture has been amazing. What you guys have built in an incredibly short time. So, Chris, when you were coming in, and you have a feeling for what that might be a little bit in each team, especially the teams you play a lot in your conference. How have you done this? You plural. You and James and Monty and Book and Jose. How have you done this in such a short period of time? Because it's got to be good feeling and good stuff that has nothing to do necessarily with what people see on the court. It's what you guys forge in the back.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for how you guys have welcomed me. I'm what all the guys on the team call old heads, so y'all didn't have to do me like y'all have. I appreciate it. For us, man, this being my 17th year in the league, like, you want to have fun doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on some really good teams that you just sort of hate going to the gym or hate going to work sometimes. But, we lose some games here and not that often. But we do lose occasionally, but we still have fun. You know what I mean? And I can say that, like, these guys started that before I got here. And I got a chance to get here and incorporate myself. And I think everything comes along with trust. You know what I mean? So we trust the work that we put in and day out. And we together more than we with our actual families, right? So when you got that type of trust, got that type of fun, man, like, y'all ought to see us when we run up the tunnel or whatnot every day. Like, we're genuinely smiling and laughing because we enjoy what we're doing.
You played for him before, earlier in your career. Is it different now?
It's a whole lot different now. It's a whole lot different. I mean, first of all, we both had a lot more hair then, probably. But it's one of those things where, I was 24, 25. I've been in New Orleans for 6 years. It was Monty's first time being a head coach. So I think we both were a little bit headstrong, probably didn't appreciate each other as much then as we do now. And there's a trust factor there. Like, we've been through a lot of things, him and his family. me and my family, and it's really cool to see how it all came back together. Like I remember when Mont first got the head coaching job here, I talked to Book. You know what I mean? Not knowing that we would end up being teammates, but because we had a relationship, I sort of talked to him about mine a little bit. So it's really cool to see how things have developed.
I'm going to ask you the same thing, just watching them, and to me, a lot of credit is due to you, Book, because a lot of guys wouldn't put aside ego to sort of have a different fit. You were already here before they both got here, each guy. And yet it seems seamless, which I think is a credit to you because they already have a relationship and you fit right in. This thing moved at a rate that I don't think anybody could have anticipated. What is it like for you to fit in and do something a lot of guys don't do?
I mean, it's structure for me. You know what I'm saying? In my early years, you know, Chris always mocks me for saying my early years because I'm still young, but I've had, you know, Monty's my fifth head coach now, and, you know, just going through the rebuild stage of having young players and young coaches, you know, it gives me more of appreciation for what we've built here. And, you know, I've always had respect for these guys, even before they were here in Phoenix. So knowing all of us coming together, even James, Chris, Coach Monty, you know, I knew that our IQ and the way we view the game is very similar. I know that leads to success.
I've seen a lot of players and teams get close. You see them up close, closer than I do, but you know a lot of guys get close and it's sort of a shrug of the shoulders and, you know, it's like, okay, satisfaction. I knew that would not be you. But what has it been like coming off of that? It seems like you ratcheted it up another step rather than stepping back and taking it easy coming into this season.
Yeah, I think what makes our team what it is because we so competitive, right? Like I didn't really care about that game of horse just now, but he didn't like that. But for real, like all of us though, like everybody on our team, like the coaching staff, everybody, like we are very competitive, you know, and I think that's what makes our team go. And especially starting with me and Book, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of guys in our league who like to score. They like to play offense, but we like to play defense too. You know what I mean? There's a pride that goes into that, and I think that goes a long way with our whole team. You know, no matter who it is, if it's Jay Crowder, if it's DA, if it's Campaign, everybody on our team has a pride about them, and we never satisfied. Right? Like, we don't care what our record is. Tomorrow is a big game for us. We don't ever, we approach every game the same way, and it's a fun way to play.
So the practices of last year that changed things and moved things and took over, it's the same thing? It's as competitive as I remember you telling me over a year ago?
Yeah.
That ain't gonna change.
Yeah, we don't stop.
That's part of the secret of what this is.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, like I said, I didn't know Book since before he got drafted. I would come here and play against Phoenix, and we'd be about to fight. About every time. Out there during the game.
He was the Jay story. I have a story with all my teammates.
Yeah. And I wouldn't expect it any other way. And that's a big reason why I wanted to come here, because I already knew what time it was. Like, we got one of those things where, I mean, hopefully y'all don't sit too close and y'all can't hear what we're saying. You know what I mean? Judge my heart, you know what I'm saying, not my head. But we got one of those relationships where you can't just get into it with Book. You know what I'm saying? If you get into it with Book, you into it with me too. Same thing with anybody on our team, and I think that's why we've been successful. We really like a game. You know what I mean? It's all that.
One thing I'm curious about, that it should be a lot of fun. I'm honored that I get to be asked, as I was this year, to vote for starters on the All-Star team. And so, no, I'm proud that it's been several years, but this year is particularly crazy. And let me admit my bias. I've been doing this for a long time, longer than most of you all are old. And you get to know people, but you're trying to do your job. It is your job to distance yourself and vote the way you would if you were just writing about a game or talking about a game, objective. I can't do that anymore. Because I've been doing this so long, and there are people in the league that I have personal relationships with that I like a lot. And more than other people, starting with these two. Seriously. Because I've known Chris since he was a senior in high school, for God's sake. And so when I was asked to vote, I was going to say no. Because it's like a pressure. Right. You know, you got the reality is you're supposed to be doing this objectively, but the real reality is you can't set aside your respect that you have. And I wonder, how much attention are you guys paying to the All-Star vote, which is being announced, what, tonight? Like right as the starters? It's already been announced? I see. So I don't know what the results are. I know what I voted for, and I'll tell you all what I did. But do you care about it? Do you pay attention to it? Does it ever fuel you, anger you? What? Give me some. We know we got the best backcourt. That's true. That's what I argue. The best backcourt in the league, and that's part of what made the voting difficult. I want to hear both of you on that.
I mean, I talk first because I'm a little older, so it's crazy, man. And I don't even know if I told Book some of this, but I've had years where I felt like I got snubbed. You know what I mean? Like where I may have got injured early in the season when I played for the Clippers. I think I missed like 10 games or something. Then it came out, like when I was in Houston. I mean, I wasn't an All-Star either year in Houston. You know what I mean? We won 65 games, 67 games. And I did feel the way, I ain't gonna lie, I did. And you know, it's crazy. At this point now, I guess where I am, I've been able to just hoop. You know what I mean? Because we so happy and we in such a good place. That's not always easy when you're younger, like Book. Like I know, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna just keep using the right words and the right language. You know, sometimes it can be BS. You know what I mean? But I think us as a team, and he can speak for himself, we in such a good place right now and worrying about what we can control, and whatever's supposed to happen is gonna happen. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing about it is, of course, you want them accolades, but one thing about it, he got the respect from everybody around the league. You know what I mean? So the hoopers, they know what time it is. They know what time it is.
I want to hear you on that topic too, because I haven't seen the results. Somebody tell me that what's that? We don't know the full roster. We don't know 6 through 15 yet. We won't know that for a little while. But look how you feel about this now.
We talk about it after every game. We're worried about getting coached there. We can say not one coach from our coaching staff has coached in the All-Star game.
Really?
Right. Except for Randy Ayers.
Except for Randy Ayers. None of them have been assistant coaches in the All-Star game or nothing like that. So we talk about that. That's the cool thing about our team too. We talk about everything. When we go live on the plane, Book started that. When we go live and sitting there at our card table, we talk about that stuff, about enjoying like the small victories throughout the season. Like we all know the ultimate goal is to win a championship, but there's nothing wrong with celebrating other things along the journey. You know what I'm saying? Book last night came the leading 40-point scorer. And the boy only like 22 years old. That's crazy. That's crazy. So 7 years in, man.
Well, I can't wait to see the whole. And you're talking about everybody talking about it. In our industry, especially working with former players, in my case, Perk and Jalen, and various now JJ Redick. It's a constant conversation. And even those guys, some nights you just sit there and people are erasing things like they're taking an exam. And both, doing it again. And so I can't wait to see. I haven't traveled. I haven't seen what the vote is. But I want to hear what else before they start to give me a sign to wrap up. I want to see what are you guys interested in right now in the league, and we can get back to what's happening here, which is magical. This is magical. It already is. I know nobody wants to hear me say it was magical last year because it wasn't a championship. The hell with that, it was magical. From the beginning, when kids got here, and people finally start paying the attention to books that they should have been paying, years earlier, it's already been magical and it continues. But what sorts of things, like when you guys are talking, not that we want to, get into too much private stuff, but what kinds of things are on your mind right now as you get to the halfway point of the season and what you're interested in?
I'll say just winning basketball games.
That singular part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take it for granted for real. And giving flowers, giving praises, like Chris said, like celebrating all them things throughout this. Like you can get this game, this lifestyle can drive you crazy. So like people need that appreciation, and especially this man right here. Even being a fan before we got to have the personal relationship, and then just taking off, building relationships that are way far beyond this court. And that's what's important to me, and we're doing that here, and we're having a good time doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. We just had so much fun because the longest amount of time I spent with a team in my career is 6 years. I was 6 years in New Orleans, 6 years in LA, 2 years Houston, 1 year OKC, now here. Hey, be cool. Be cool. Be cool over there. Cool stuff, right? So I think for me, it's an appreciation to see Book, because like y'all have literally got a chance to see him grow up. You know what I mean? Y'all know Chubby Book. Y'all know that Book. But I think the coolest part about it, man, is having a team with Mikal Bridges and all these guys. And we can joke about it now because we really good, but they were here with those seasons and not winning too many games. Like seriously, and they, like people say, they stayed down. You know what I'm saying? And so now to see, to have like first together, like going to the finals, that was the first time, I got to do that with them. This year, winning 18 games in a row, the most I won in my career was 17. So even though I done played a long time, it's really dope and cool to be able to have even some of my firsts with a group of guys, and knowing that like the relationships that we built. I mean, this is the last thing I tell you. Like when we seen Torrey Craig the other day when we played against Indiana. Like, it was so crazy, man. Like, he came, like, sort of towards the back before the game. We like, first of all, T. Craig, get the hell out of here. but anybody else would have been like, get on somewhere. But he seriously is family forever. Yeah. Family forever. He's on board. Mason Galloway, all them guys that was part of this team last year. Yep, them too. JC, yeah, JC. Still talk to JC all the time, man. So, like you said, culture, what we done built around here, is something I think that'll last forever.
You still got another 6 years.
All right.
Nobody's taking that back. I tell you what, we'll take this. I'm going off book because that's what I do. So just a couple of questions, as long as it's reasonable. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut you down.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do nothing tonight. We'll go watch the Minnesota game.
Real quickly, I saw a young hand or two over here. Real quick. Quick question for CP or Book.
Gotta yell it.
Woo! Turn around and take a selfie.
There you go. Yeah, real quick.
Who has the most wins on the plane? Playing cards and everything.
Who wins on money?
What's up, Book? Hey, we good?
Hold on.
We're even. Yeah, we settled up last night. Me and Book good. We good.
Last one right here.
Last couple of years, you were like top 3 in the NBA in creating contact on the drive. This year, I don't see that quite as much, but you just look faster than I've ever seen you.
Why you think you got 8 texts? Yeah, they ain't calling shit for me. Excuse my language. Free throws career low.
But then you don't get that
Do you
call.
do like speed training, or are you faster now, or is this am I just
Tell them what else
hallucinating?
asked you about that. Didn't I ask you about that? The right to left crossover to get fouled.
Yeah. I don't know, do I look faster?
He vegan now, y'all.
I ain't vegan.
Are you trying to?
Let me say, we not, see, I open up a can of worms, so I always do get myself in trouble. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming out.
You do last one.
I know that's this one last one. You first up.
With the mic.
Let's hear from you. You got a mic? Okay.
How do you come back after a bad game?
He said, how do you bounce back after a bad game?
Yeah. They had no bad games in like 2 years. Bad games right here.
Right.
No, that's a good question.
You just have to have a short memory. You have to train your mind to just easily forget and trust your work. Like if you put in this work and you spend countless hours in here, you can't fake the product. Like, you know, we're well prepared, and you know, 1 game, 2 games, 3 or 4 can't really shake me at this point because I've just been through it, and you know, I just trust my craft.
What helps with it too, man, is like we always say, like people go to work every day. You know, your parents go to work. We go to the gym every day. Every day. So like you said, trust the work. And then it's always good to have good teammates around you. I missed the mid-range last night in Utah. Like, if I miss a layup, I don't trip. If I miss a mid-range, I'm mad, right? And so I missed one last night, and I looked over at we was in the game together, and he was like, good shot, way to be aggressive. So when you got teammates that's constantly talking to you, you know what I mean, like that, like the way we be on Cam Johnson, if he don't shoot it. You know what I mean? That always helps when you got teammates and stuff. So if you have a bad game, everybody know the work that you put in, so keep shooting it.
These guys are gonna go watch. When Chris says he's going to watch it, he's not exaggerating. There've been any number of times where it might be after an early game, it might be after a phone call or a Zoom. When he says he's going to watch the game, he's going to watch games, the plural. There's no need to say which are you watching. He's watching them all.
I got to know when I can get the rip through.
It's been taken away now, the rip through.
And the game just started on in the background. He's watching.
He's watching.
He's watching.
The series. So you guys should know that as we let them go and do that. Thank you for being here. Let me just add an editorial comment. I've been coming. I'm not from Arizona. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago. I am going to get from Chicago to the house, but I've been coming here a lot since 1992-93, when Charles Barkley was traded here and won the MVP. It was an incredibly exciting time. I built a house here. I live here part of the time now. I was here for the Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion. And now I feel incredibly lucky, that's professionally and personally, to be here. And a big part of that is the evolution of the support. And it felt different. You guys know the changes that have taken place in the Valley and how it's evolved in the last 20 years, those of you who are old enough, 25, almost 30 years since Charles was traded here. And last season was you were a part of it. This fan base was very much a part of it. It sounds different on TV. It sounds different when you walk in the building. You can compare it to the last 30 years like I can. And they're going to need you again. They need you every night now. But congratulations on your contribution. And it's amazing to see. I can't wait to see it. I'm trying to we have this thing where we can suggest games that are the countdown on ESPN when we go live. And so far it's all been Brooklyn,
Yeah, we know how to do
Philly.
it. We know how to do it.
Believe me. So this morning my voice a little raspy. I was screaming at producers, we better get to Arizona relatively soon. Because it's only the best team in the league, and we can come and see and enjoy in person. And so nothing is objective about that. I hope that continues. Chris and Book, thank you both for taking the time. Thank you.
night, y'all.